Let's be real. Your website might look like a Pinterest dream board, but if it's not turning visitors into buyers or booking clients, what's the point? Today, I'm peeling back the curtain on do it yourself websites. I'm talking about the kind that are pretty enough to pass the vibe check, but leave your business bank account on red. We all know we hate being left on red. And girl, I say this with love and from experience. If your site confuses people, it's costing you money. Today's episode, I'm talking about what most coaches and creatives miss when they build their own website. And more importantly, why fixing it doesn't mean starting over. Absolutely not. Stick around because I've got some real talk examples and a sneak peek at a juicy opportunity coming in June that'll turn your site into the hardest working team member. Hey, everybody, I am so excited to have you here. Let me just tell you that this is a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for some time now. And the reason is because I know so many of you design your own websites. Hey, I was in that position where I designed my own website because I couldn't afford to hire somebody to design it for me. And I know a lot of you know what that feels like. So there are so many tools out there. You've got Wix and Canva and GoDaddy and Squarespace, and it makes it super easy. You just drag and drop and build this beautiful website. But the problem is that website is only half done. And I want to tell you how to really complete it. Because having a website that just is aesthetically appealing isn't it. It's not giving you conversions. It just looks pretty and it's sitting out there like a billboard in the desert, right? I'm not even going to talk on SEO, which is a whole other podcast. And I'm sure I've got past podcasts talking about SEO. If you've been in any of my trainings or free workshops, you know that SEO is super, super important, but I'm not even going to go there today. I'm going to talk to you about things that you could do with your website that you designed that will improve it. So one myth that I hear, and I've experienced this so much because I will have some of you send me your website and you're super, super proud and they look beautiful. Like you've done an amazing job with it. I can't say I've never seen a site that didn't look really pretty. I have. Unfortunately, I have seen those sites. But most of the times when you guys are designing your websites, they look great. No, the misconception is that having a website that looks amazing is the most important thing. That is absolutely false. Having a website that is beautiful and that's more importantly speaks to your ideal client is super important. You absolutely want that. But strategy trumps design. So I want to make sure that you get it because you may have beautiful brand colors. You may have created a Canva template that you absolutely love, but your website, your homepage has no clear direction. There's no call to action and there are too many choices. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to go to your website, unless you're driving, but when you get back and you're in front of your computer or on your mobile device, go to your website and count how many call to actions you have and ask yourself, you're in your business, so you understand why you designed it the way that you did. But ask yourself, if you didn't, would you have a clear idea of what to do next? Or are there so many different call to actions that it's confusing? You're not sure what the end user is really supposed to do. Are they supposed to do X or are they supposed to do Y? What's the main thing you want them to do next? Is it clear? And how many of those call to actions do you have? So we're going to talk a little bit more about that, but I want you to take a look at your own site and uncover what that looks like. So now I want to talk about some of the mistakes, right? That's killing your conversion. The first thing is if you're still looking at your website, look at above the fold. So what above the fold is, it's before you scroll down. It's the first top piece of your website before you hit the scroll button. You want to make sure that you have a very clear message. If I land on your website and I can't tell who you help or what you do in 5 seconds, I'm gone. So many times this is missed. This is so important because we don't have much patience, especially in the last, I'm going to say 10 years. I think every year our patience and our attention has decreased. So if we go to someone's website, we want to know right away. Your ideal client wants to know right away. Does this person get me? Can they solve my problem? And do I want to scroll a little bit more to see the rest of their website to determine if I will like and at least trust them enough to take that next step, which is your call to action. So take a look at that section above the fold. Do you have a really clear message? Can I tell if who you help and what you do quickly? Is that up there? If it is, that's awesome. You can check that right off your list. You've got that done. If it's not, or you're not really sure if it's clear enough, then you've got a little bit of homework to do. So you want to make sure that you work on that. And honestly, I think a big mistake that kind of ties into this is a lot of times people don't really know how to do that, how to break that down really small. So that might be an exercise in itself, right? Is just to condense it so that those bullet points that hit your ideal client come through, right? What it's going to look like after they work with you. So make sure that you get that done. That's the very first thing. Now, the second thing is take a look at that menu bar that you have. Now, more so, I guess you can look at it too on your mobile device, but I like doing everything on my desktop or my laptop. It's just my preference of viewing websites and evaluating them. I do go look at mobile because, as we know, it has to look good on mobile too. But when I'm doing the hard work, I'm usually on a desktop or a laptop. But wherever you are, it doesn't really matter. Take a look at your menu. Do you have more than 7 tabs? If you do, it's like paralysis, right? Nobody wants to hunt. They want to find everything quickly. So if I've got to go and I've got to dig through the menu, your menu, to figure out where do I want to go, what am I really looking for, then you need to rework that menu. You don't want a ton of tabs going across the top. You want it to fit really nicely, right? So they don't go into 2 bars. You want 1 bar going across your main menu, and then you can create some sub menus under that. But you want to make sure that those tabs make sense. You don't want your end user, your ideal client, to go on a witch hunt looking for how to work with you. You want them to go there and be very, very easy to find. So take a look at that menu bar next. What does it look like? The next thing, this one here, I see it missed so much. And I partially understand why it's missed so much. And I am telling you to make sure that you have it on your website. You want to make sure, I said it a little bit, right? People want to like, know, and trust you. And I said by looking at your content above the fold, they can tell if they like you and they want to get to know you. But the trust is that other key component. So we want to make sure that your website has that trust feature. What you want to do is put those testimonials on your website. Put your face on your website, right? So I'm going to start with testimonials and I'm going to give some examples. So the first thing is those testimonials. Let people hear what other people say about working with you or your program, right? What your services are like. Make sure that's on your site because that's social proof. And what that is that this is why reviews are so big, right? If we read a review and we're like, oh, this person that just wrote this review was going through something similar, same thing that I was going through. And if it worked for them, then it's going to work for me. Or if it didn't work for them, it wouldn't work for me. But don't put any bad reviews on your website. Put the best reviews on your website. The ones that are relatable to your ideal client, right? Because that's social proof. That's where they're going to start to trust you. Now, I always get really strategic. So right around my call to actions, I've got my testimonials, my social proof, so that they can say, wait a minute, I do want to click that button. I do want to work with her because these other people have had great experiences. Now, the other thing is not having your face on your website. Now, if you are a creative or a coach, your face is important. Not too long ago, somebody sent me their website and they had their face, instead of their face, it was a cartoon character. And I don't know if any of my listeners have cartoon characters. I don't know what your opinion is, but I would never work with somebody who had a cartoon character as their about. And the reason is because why wouldn't you show your face? If I'm going to pay a higher ticket, let me rephrase that, right? So maybe a lower ticket, I might pay for that. If it was just a cartoon character, maybe if it was something, an app or something like that, then yeah, cool, right? But I'm talking about if you're looking for higher tickets and you're a coach, you're creative, you are your brand, and you don't have a picture of you on there. I don't have the same amount of trust as when I see who you are, what you look like. And that picture will tell me so much about you, or at least let me feel like I know you a little bit more, right? Make sure that you put your picture on there. And I know I've heard some people are like, I don't really like my picture. I don't like putting my face out there. It is a way to connect with other people. We are human by design. We want to see faces. We love faces. We're more drawn, even on your social media, we're more drawn to images that have a person's face than we are to usually a product or something along that line, right? Some sort of object, because we like looking at people's faces. So for that reason, put your face somewhere on your website, especially if you're asking for a higher ticket. Let people get to know you. And another way to build some of that trust is to have some authority building content on your website. So be that leader in your industry. Talk about the benefits. Talk about what you've done. Have a blog post or a podcast like I do, or have just information where you are the authority in your industry and showcase that on your website, because the end result is we want that our ideal client to like, know, and trust us. And if they're coming to our website, we want to make sure that those key components are on the website. They are not hunting for them. They're very obvious. And that we begin nurturing a relationship with that ideal client, that they begin to get to know who we are, who our ideal clients are, what our customers are saying about us, and how we are the expert in our industry. Now, the good part. I told you in the beginning that even if you're doing a do-it-yourself website and you're listening to this, it doesn't mean this episode is not about starting that whole website over. Stay on the platform that you are for now. That's another episode, right? Because I do think SEO is important. I keep stressing that. But if you are not there yet and you've started a website and you at least want that presence, that's cool. Make sure that it has all those key components. What I want you to do is I want you to take a look at your words and start to design the site from your words, right? So in the beginning, use like a simple headline, like I help who get the results, right? What's the result without the pain point? What's that pain point? Really make it easy. Now, I am a believer that I know we focus on pain points and that you want to talk to them about that, but focus on what it looks like after they work with you. What is their life going to look like? And incorporate that on your website. But start with those words. Take a look at all the words and speak directly to that ideal client. And talk about, that ideal client inside and out, right? Fix your words and then design around that. Make sure that you have a clear call to action. It can be one call to action, and that could be find out more on how to work with you. And that can lead to your work with me or about me or whatever your page title is, right? Where they can get more information. But one call to action, and put it on there multiple times. Now, all right, are you ready, guys? Right now, you might be stuck. You might have a website and you're like, okay, Deanna, I'm looking at my website and I realize that maybe the wording isn't perfect, or maybe the layout could be improved. And I'm going to do some things, but how do I make sure that it's right? I know that the fear of putting your picture out there and putting where you are the authority, imposter syndrome creeps in. And you're kind of like, and I've done this myself, right? And I hear it's like, I don't want to be too salesy, or gosh, am I really that good? Yes, you are really that good, right? So when you start thinking about making these tweaks to your website and going through and looking at all the copy, which are all the words that are on your site, looking at the way it's designed, how many call to actions do you have? It can get really, really overwhelming. And you can even have tech fatigue, right? When you start to have that call to action, if let's just say that you do have a funnel set up, right? Which is another podcast. But hopefully you have some sort of a funnel set up, and it can feel overwhelming. I understand that because I've been there and I've worked with so many of you. So I know that you hear the message and you understand what I'm saying, but you want just a little bit more direction, and you want to make sure that what you're doing is right. Well, I've got some good news for you. Inside of She Is Collective in June, we have a strategy session. It is website clarity and conversion, and it is going to go over in depth everything that I'm talking about so that your website can be really clear. And again, it is not about starting over with your website. Stay on the platform that you are. I'm talking about the front end information, the way that it talks to your ideal client, the way you can get it to convert and improve your website. Now, we're not redesigning it. We are just rewiring how it works for you. Following that workshop, right? That lab that we have coming up in June, the 3 weeks following it are group coaching sessions. So I'm going to coach you through each of those weeks. You can submit your website to me and I'll take a look at it, and I will put you on the hot seat and answer any of those questions, give you direction, and help you design the site that you need. So if your website right now feels more like a digital business card than a conversion machine, it's time for a glow up. This June, inside She Is Collective, the first monthly coaching lab, and we are diving into your website. You'll get my eyes on your site, a copy clarity framework and real-time coaching to turn your website from into money-making magic. But here's the thing, it's not for everyone. It's for women who are ready to tweak, not just dream. If that's you, if this podcast related to you, then head over to my website and go onto the wait list, right? And I'll send you information. Just go to deannahins.com, fill out the info, and I will send you information, get you on the list so that you can be part of it. Now, spots are going to be limited, and we are starting the 3rd week of June. So your site is more than a vibe, right? This is your ideal client's first impression, and I want to make sure that it's a profitable one. All right, everybody, I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope to catch you inside She Is Collective. We'll see you later.